Two crime cases that have come to light from the national crime region or the capital region. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can decide for yourself. Let me tell you, the first one here, Amazon executive shot dead by gang which was led by an 18-year-old. The main suspect has been held. It claims that the victim had slapped the associate. Now, the residents discovered that Gil, who's the victim here, was lying unconscious while the other person was gasping for breath. Cops have arrested Samir, whose picture has been given below in the newspaper here. It says Samir is already named in 4 murders. His Instagram bio introduces him as Naam Badnaam, address Kabristan, Umr Jeene Ki, Shauk Marne Ka. This is his Instagram bio. The 18-year-old is suspect in 4 murder cases, all as juvenile. Samir calls his group Maya Gang and refers to himself as Maya Bhai. So, a 36-year-old senior manager with Amazon was shot in the head from point blank range by a group of 4 to 5 armed assailants in northeast Delhi's Bhajanpura late on Tuesday night. His relative too was shot and is battling for life. The men fired in the air while fleeing, which is what the locals claim. So, there is an act of a delusion of grandeur at play over here as well, Varghese. Late on Wednesday evening, the Delhi Police's special cell cracked the case and nabbed the prime suspect, Samir, who's 18 years old. He is the kingpin of an emerging Maya gang, calls himself Maya Bhai, and has been allegedly involved in at least 4 murders. He is learned to have claimed that the man he killed, Harpreet Gill, had slapped his associate. Basically, a Maya gang associate was slapped by this Amazon executive, which is why Maya Bhai took it upon himself. 18-year-old Maya Bhai took it upon himself to go and, well, bring the man to justice.
Another news that's coming in is that, especially, I'm trying to understand is from where do these people actually get that firepower that they actually have when they try to do these crimes. There is another story, and this time it's from Greater Noida. Man shot for refusing to pay extortion money in Greater Noida. A 35-year-old man was shot in the chest on Tuesday afternoon by an armed assailant for not paying extortion of 5 lakh in Greater Noida, police said. They added that the victim, identified as Ankur Agarwal, is currently in a stable condition after undergoing surgery. The victim's brother, Ankit Agarwal, said the assailant, Vinod, had been demanding extortion money from them for the past few days. On Tuesday, Vinod barged into our garment shop in Curly Hafizpur around 5 p.m. and fired a shot at my brother. He said, adding that Ankur was rushed to a nearby private hospital where he underwent a major surgery. So that's coming in from Greater Noida.
That coming in from Greater Noida essentially. And if that's not all, ladies and gentlemen, let me just quickly, let's first talk about the Bhajanpura murder, the one that we were talking about, Varghese. Now, we have to trace the rise of the Maya gang, and it seems like Times of India has done a decent job at it. It says the Bollywood-inspired kingpin, wanted for 4 murders before turning 18. Shootout in Delhi, tracing the rise of the Maya gang. Says bullet entered from the right side of the head and exited from the other side, is what the police say after the post-mortem report. Now, Maya King gang, with 2,000 plus followers on Instagram, Samir used his social media platform to gain notoriety. Now, when it happened, 11:30 p.m. Tuesday. Where it happened, Subhash Vihar in Bhajanpura. Harpreet Gill, 36 years old, he's the person who died. The injured is Govind Singh. Both victims are relatives and residents of Bhajanpura. Gill worked as a senior manager in Amazon. Singh has a Momo's eatery in Bhajanpura. Gill's family claimed he got a promotion, was about to shift to Bengaluru. So again, just before that big good step, well, this happened. Now, what happened? Gill and Singh were on their bike. They were passing through Subhash Vihar when they were spotted by the members of the Maya gang. One of them alleged that he was slapped by Gill last month and wanted to take revenge, which is why Maya Bhai and Maya gang members, the assailants cornered both of them and started shooting at them. Gill was riddled with bullets on the spot. Singh is alive. That's the situation right now. My goodness. I still can't get over his Instagram bio, which he's been flaunting for God knows how long. Naam Badnaam, address Kabristan, Umr Jeene Ki, Shauk Marne Ka.
Well, the alleged confrontation, this is another version of
the
that
character of Maya, played by Vivek Oberoi in Shootout at Lokhandwala.
So that is the inspiration behind
that. That is the inspiration. Bollywood-inspired kingpin. This is Maya Bhai from Shootout at Lokhandwala.
There's another version for this. The alleged confrontation leading to the murder happened about 500 meters from their home, according to his uncle Bobby Gill, who was quoting eyewitnesses present near the spot. It was a narrow lane where two men riding on a motorcycle hit Harpreet's motorcycle and sped away. Instead of apologizing, they uttered some abuses while fleeing. Harpreet and Singh pursued them and asked them to apologize, and that is when the entire thing happened, is what they say.
And this is happening in the national capital at a time when, you know, because of the G20, the NSG has been brought in, there are rapid action forces, the Delhi police is, you know, on its feet throughout. There is another crime that has come to light. This one coming in from Ghaziabad, where you get a phone call, well, that, you know, you're going to be killed, and the next day you're shot inside your own chamber. Imagine this. Imagine this, fancy this. You're walking into an area where a lot of lawyers sit in their chambers. You know, there's a proper chamber area in every particular court. Thousands of people throng that area. You've got thousands of people who throng that area continuously, but there is no CCTV camera. It says here 500 chambers, 3,000 daily visitors, but no CCTV cams or scanners. That's the only footage that they have. That's the only footage that they have of the assailants coming in. Now, one holds colleague at gunpoint, another kills him. This is what happened in Ghaziabad. The bullet punctured Monu's skull towards the left and the wall behind him in chamber number 95 at Sadar Tehsil, and the blood was splattered on the wall behind him. The attack likely stemmed from a family dispute where was the lawyer a collateral or not is the thing that we'll have to find out. A lawyer eating lunch with a colleague in the latter's chamber on Wednesday afternoon was killed by two masked men who barged in and opened fire at point blank range. So, two attacks that have taken place on point blank range. One of the shooters placed the gun on the forehead of Monu Chaudhary, who's 35 years old, and fired while his accomplice held Munesh Tyagi, his colleague, and a clerk at the Tehsil at gunpoint. Now, the bullet punctured Monu's skull. The attack seemed to have stemmed from a family dispute. In a police complaint, Monu's wife Kavita named his brother-in-law Amit Dagar, who's Amit's brother, and parents and others, alleging they had threatened to ruin the lawyer's Raksha Bandhan celebrations just a few days ago. Now, Munesh has told the Times of India that shouting happened around 2 p.m. I had just entered to the chamber after filling my water bottle, I beg your pardon, when the two armed men came inside. One of them shot Monu. As he slumped in the chair, they fled. I was so stunned that I could not move for the next 30 seconds. I was absolutely frozen. And of course, you would be frozen, wouldn't you? There's just the one CCTV camera. That's the problem here. These are the two assailants that are coming in on the bike. You've got 500 chambers over here. If two lawyers sit in those 500 chambers, you've got 1,000 people in those chambers, 3,000 throng that place daily. At an average, you've got 4,000 people coming to this place every day. Not one CCTV camera.
That's absolutely shocking. I mean, and that too in a place like this.
500 chambers, 3,000 daily visitors, no CCTV cameras or scanners. You know, now an FIR has been registered against Amit and his family under sections 147, which is writing, 148, which is writing armed with deadly weapon, 149, every member of unlawful assembly guilty of offence committed in prosecution of common object, for 302, which is murder, 506, which is criminal intimidation, and 120B, which is criminal conspiracy of the Indian Penal Code. 5 teams have been formed to arrest them. We are also checking CCTV footages of nearby areas. But what is that going to lead to? How is that going to help? So, you've got the Greater Noida murder that you're talking about?
I mean, Greater Noida shooting that happened. The person has survived.
That you're talking about, he's critical right now?
He's critical now. And we have the lawyer that you just spoke about, and
Ghaziabad.
then you have a Maya gang that has come out from
nowhere. A Maya
nowhere.
gang out of a shootout from Lokhandwala
and
movie.
fed with the social media accolades. I mean, that's really something that I think the police will have to look into.
2,000 plus followers. Who's giving them this kind of energy? Who's giving them this kind of encouragement to go out and carry such things out? I mean, this is where that debate again comes to light, that what imitates what. Does art imitate life or does life imitate art? And according to Wordsworth, well, it's vice versa. Both imitate each other.
But the fact remains is that
So where do you draw the line then?
the fact remains over here is that one thing that Kabir, I have noticed is that one, we should talk about in all these three cases, it's the firepower. How are they easily able to get hold of this kind of firepower? That's one thing we have to look into. The security aspect of all this, and thirdly, how social media is in fact fueling all these aspects as well. I think on social media there should be some kind of guidelines, especially when it comes to the display of guns. And here is a person, I was just hearing to that article that you were reading out. 18 is what you said.
Anyway, so crime in NCR, the spurt in the crime in NCR is something that definitely the police will have to look at, and this is not just one police. It's going to have to be Uttar Pradesh police, it's going to have to be the Delhi police, and it's going to have to be the Punjab and Haryana police at these border points as well, because National Capital Region, it is a big region, and you can't put the blame on just one police.
No, you can't say on one police handling it,
Yeah.
since you have those areas. What you said is correct, but the fact remains right. I'm more shocked about the profile of the criminals, the way they are able to easily get firepower. 18-year-old
walking inside
the age of itself
a judicial, a legal institution, going inside a chamber of a lawyer.
I mean, that is also challenging. I mean, there are people for hire for gun. I hope it doesn't become that out of kind of a situation where you saw in the 1980s and late 70s Mumbai, where had people strewing all around with guns and shooting and killing people, from businessmen to commoners. I hope that kind of a situation doesn't emerge in Delhi. But this is actually a scary part of the national capital region.